Okay, in today's lesson you have kind of a mismatch of some problems. We're at the end of the last unit, so I want this done as an assignment. You have 5 problems, but they're all different, totally different concepts in every single one of them. So we're going to read this percent problem. Caleb is hiking on a trail that's 18 kilometers long. He has hiked 40% of the trail so far. What is the total number of kilometers Caleb needs to hike to complete the trail? So it says 40% of, so we're going to rewind the clock back this semester when we were doing percent of story problems and make this chart here, and this is my percent, this is actual, okay? Now this is my total, and the 40% is defined by what he has hiked. So you're going to put hiked and then not hiked, or you can just put not. Now we're going to fill out, we need all 3 columns here today, okay? So 100% is his total, 40% is what he has hiked. Now, not hiked, we would take 100 minus 40, and that would be 60%, okay? Now, the actual number I have is 18 kilometers. Now, it just says that's long, so that's your total, 18 km. Now, what's the question asking me, okay? What's the total number of kilometers Caleb still needs to hike to complete the trail? So they're asking me how much he still has to go, so I want the not hiked. This is what I want, so I'm going to put X there, and I don't need this. I mean, I needed it to begin with to get the 40. So then it's 60 over 100, it's a proportion, equals X over 18. Okay, then you cross multiply and divide. 60 times 18 divided by 100 is 10.8. Okay, so 10.8 kilometers he still has to go. Now the next problem. Chad is jogging on a trail that's 30 miles long. He has jogged 20% of the trail so far. What's the total number of miles Chad still has left to jog? So percent actual, okay? Okay, so you've got jogged. So we got jogged, not jogged, and total. So 100%, he has jogged 20%, so the not jogged, I would take 100 minus 20, and that is 80%. So the 30 miles, that's your total, okay? It's 30 miles long, that's a total. Now it says, what's the number of miles he still has left to jog? So we need to find out how much he's not jogged, okay? So I put X here, and this is eliminated. So it would be 80 over 100 equals X over 30. Cross multiply and divide, so 80 times 30 divided by 100 is 24. So he still has to jog 24 miles, okay? Now the next problems. The table below lists a function. This h of x crap, it just means y, okay? Can you put y in there? Put a y right there. Actually, don't cross h of x out, just put y, okay? It's in that's called function notation, okay? Now, I'm going to get out a piece of scratch paper, and you look at it, it says write a linear function that represents the table. Now you're like, well, I don't think this is linear, okay? I do, because you see, if I take negative 23 and subtract negative 17, I got negative 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. So this changes by negative 6, while this changes by 2, okay? Negative 17 minus 7 is negative 24. So then 6 minus negative 2 is 8. So this changes by negative 24, while that changes by 8. Now, 7 minus 13 is negative 6. Negative 2 minus negative 4 is going to be 2. Now, if we divide those, they're all the same. They all equal negative 3, okay? So, it is linear. So, to write a linear function, you lay out like you would a linear equation, the y equals blank x plus blank, so mb. So we know this is linear, I just proved it over here. Now the m, we're going to go y minus y, x minus x. Now pick your highest x in the table, okay? It's 8, so you're going to put negative 23 over 8. Then you can pick any other x you want. I'll just go 6, what the heck, okay? 6, negative 17. So we know 8 minus 6 is 2. Now, negative 23, don't mess with, that's your starting number, and you add 17 to it. That's what negative 23 minus negative 17 really is. It's negative 23 plus 17. That's negative 6. Now divide those and you get negative 3. So that's your m value. And you notice how right there, negative 3 is what we got. Okay, so b, y equals m times x plus b. Now, I will say one thing about the b. If you have if you have 0 on your table for x, the b can be found simply by just looking at what the y is when the x is 0. But we don't have 0 for x, so that's why we have to use what. We're trying to find out what the y is if the x would be 0. See, it skips over 0. So m is negative 3, and you can pick any y-x point you want. I'll pick 7, okay? 7, negative 2. Doesn't matter which one you'll pick, you get the same thing. And then plus 6, then you subtract 6 from both sides and you get 1. 1 equals b. Now if you want to test that equation, you go negative 3 and pick one of your x points. We'll pick 6 and then add 1. I should get negative 17, which I did. Okay, now last thing you need to do is scribble out the y and replace it with that h of x, okay? That's a function then, okay? Let's do another one, okay? This is linear. Again, 29 minus 25 is 4. 6 minus 5 is 1. 25 minus 1 is 24. 5 minus negative 6, negative 1 I should say, is 6. And then 1 minus negative 7 is going to be 8. And negative 1 minus negative 3 is going to be 2. So all these equal 4, okay? 4 is going to be your slope, I can tell you that. So y equals blank x plus blank, so mb, okay? So remember this thing here is just y. Don't cross it out, I don't know why I keep doing that, okay? Put y. Okay, y minus y, x minus x. So pick your highest x value. That'd be 6, 29 over 6. Then 25 over 5. So it's going to be 4 over 1. Divide that, and it's 4. Okay, so you have a slope of 4, just like we predicted. Then y equals m times x plus b. So you don't have an x value of 0. It skips over that. We don't know where the x is at 0. So that's why. If you did, you'd look on the other side, and that'd be your b. Okay. Okay, so m4. Okay. And I'll pick 29 and 6 this time. 29 is y. 6 is x. So b plus 24. Then you subtract 24. And 5 is equal to b. Okay. Now cross out the y and replace it with the f of x, the function notation. Okay. Same thing. Okay, next one. Again, we're going to prove why it's a linear function. 27 minus 12 is 15. 7 minus 2 is 5. 12 minus 3 is 9. 2 minus negative 1, remember that's the same as 2 adding 1, 3. 3 minus negative 6 is the same as 3 plus 6, it's 9, okay. Negative 1 minus negative 4, that's the same, and that's 3. So all these rates come out to 3, okay. So now that we know that, we go y equals blank x plus blank, so mb. Remember, this right here means y. Okay, so m, we're going to go y minus y, x minus x. And you can just start at the end of your table, 27 over 7. And then 12 over 2. Okay? Alright, so that's going to make 15 over 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, so we have a slope of 3. Okay. Now B, see if you have an x of 0, which you do not. Okay, so you got to use the y equals m times x plus b. If you had an x value of 0 on your table, you look over across and that would be your b. Because this is the y-intercept, okay? Anything on the y-axis has an x value of 0, okay? So m is 3, and then you can pick any point you want. I'll go 12 and 2. 12 is y, 2 is x. So b plus 6, so I subtract 6 from each side. 6 equals b. Okay, then swap your y out, quick, just cross it out, and above it just write h of x. Okay, now next problem is a multiple choice problem. Okay, do not just guess, this isn't hard. Which of the following equations has the greatest y-intercept? Now I want to show you something on a graph, okay? This is x, this is y. A y-intercept would be where the line crosses the y-axis. Now on the y-axis, you're in the middle of the x, so x has a value of 0. Okay, so knowing that is key. So with these 5 options, just make 5 coordinates here. And put zeros in for your x's, all of them. Because to find the y-intercept, the x has a value of 0. Okay, because it crosses the y-axis, it's in the middle of the x, so it has a value of 0. Okay, so if x is 0 in this first equation, I put a times dot with the 7x, 7 times 0 is 0. Then you got 3 times y equals negative 21, that's a negative. Then divide by 3. Negative 21 divided by 3 is negative 7, so that's your y-intercept there. Now in the second one, negative 2 times x, put a 0 in. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. And I don't have to do anything to the y because it clearly states that it equals 5. Okay. Now, xy, xy, do one of those coordinates have an x value of 0? It does, okay? So, negative 6 then would be my y-intercept. See, because 0, negative 6, okay? Right there, and that's on the y-axis. So fortunately, one of those coordinates had an x of 0. Now, x is 0. You have 2 x's. You put 0 in here, 0 to the second power, and then 0 there. 0 to the second power is 0. You get rid of that. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. You get rid of that. And it flat out says y equals negative 10. So negative 10 is my y-intercept. Now option E, you're just looking at the graph. This is the y-axis, it crosses it at 6. Okay, so we got all our y-intercepts. Which one's the greatest? Be this one, 6, so easy answer. Okay, next one, y-intercept. Okay, then we start substituting 0 in for x, so 10 times 0. 10 times 0 is 0, okay? So there's nothing else over there, so it would just be a y-intercept of 0. Okay, x is 0, so replace your x with 0. 4 times 0 is 0, so you got 3 times y. You got to get the y by itself, so to get rid of times 3, you would divide by 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that equation has a y-intercept of 4. Okay, 0, x to the second, so it's 0 to the second, and then negative 6 times 0. 0 to the second is 0, okay? Negative 6 times 0 is 0, and then I have y equals 8, okay? Now, they give me 2 coordinates, but does one of them have an x of 0? It does, so the y-intercept is 2, okay? Because that point is on the y-axis. And the graph, y, so the y-intercept here is 4. Which one's the greatest? It'd be this one, it'd be C, okay? Alright, these next 2 don't take very long, okay? Dollars and pints have a linear relationship. This is the following sign. It says 4 pints for $15, 6 pints for $23. How much would 1 pint cost? What the pint means, it means dollars per pint, okay? So what you do is you got to find the rates of change. So you take 23 minus 15, okay? 23 minus 15 is 8, $8. 6 minus 4 is 2 pints. So that essentially means 2 pints cost $8. Now to find the rate, how much 1 pint costs, you're just going to take your $8 and divide it by 2 pints. And that's $4, so it would cost $4 for 1 pint. Okay, dollars and months have a linear relationship. This is the following sign. 3 months for $122, 7 months for $218. How much would 1 month cost? Okay, so we need to divide these. You can't just divide 122 by 3 and 218 by 7. That doesn't work, okay, because they'll be different answers. If they were the same, you could divide them. So I take 218 minus 122, and that's $96. 7 minus 3 is 4 months. So we know it's $96 for 4 months. Okay, so to find the cost of 1 month, you just divide 96 by 4. You get 24, so $24. Okay, last one. Last kind of group, I should say. We're going to do 2 of them. This will not take long. Brenda starts with $20. Each day she works, she earns $30. William starts with $50. Each day he works, he earns $20. Okay? Create 2 equations in y equals mx plus b form that represent the relationship between x and y. So they want 2 y equals mx plus b equations. So M, B. Okay. Now, how much did Brenda start with? $20. That's your B. And then what's her rate every time she's adding $30 every day? Okay, so $30. And also, I'm sorry, before I did this problem, I should have put x equals y equals. X is going to be the days, the time unit, and then y is your money. Okay, I should have done that at the beginning. So 30x plus 20. Okay. Now William, he starts with $50. That's his B. Okay. Then each day he works $20. Each day he earns $20. So 20x plus 50. So that's your answer for A. There's your equations. Now you got to find the number of days each person works before they have the same amount of money. So here's what you do. You line up an equals. You ignore the y's. On one side you're going to put 30x plus 20. And on the other side you're going to put 20x plus 50. Okay. Now take an x at the smaller x over here by minusing it. So 10x plus 20 equals 50. Then we have to get x by itself. So we minus 20. That's 30. Then we divide by 10, and that equals 3. So 3 days. Okay. All right, Chad starts with $40. Each day he works, he earns $20. Sierra starts with $70. Each day she works, she earns $10. Create 2 equations in y equals mx plus b form that represent the relationship between x and y. So x is your time unit, it'd be days, okay? And then y is your money, okay? So okay, where did Chad start with? He started with 40. Then he's adding $20 every day he works, so that's your slope. So 20 and 40. Okay, Sierra, $70 is her B. That's what that wouldn't be multiplied by a variable. And then each day she works, she earns $10. So 10. Okay. Now, find the number of days each person works so they have the same amount of money. So we want to know when the 20x plus 40 is, I just leave the y's out of here, and that is equal to the 10x plus 70. Okay, so get rid of one of your x's, get rid of the smaller one on an equation. If it's a inequality greater than or less than, you get rid of the one over here, but it's not. 10x plus 40 equals 70. Okay. Then you subtract 40 and divide by 10. You're going to get the same answer. I didn't do that on purpose, but divide by 10, divide by 10, 30 divided by 10 is 3. So 3 days.